I'm Martin McGinnis, and I'm a Googler here in the Bay Area, and it's a pleasure to introduce a very special guest today. Sports Illustrated has placed him on their top 50 fittest freaks list, joining the ranks of LeBron James and Conor McGregor alike. Red Bull has declared that when it comes to endurance, he is unstoppable, and Success Magazine has named him the most enduring man in the world. With 2 Guinness World Records under his belt, James intended to do something that most would deem impossible: 50 Ironman triathlons in 50 consecutive days in all 50 states. When I first heard this story, like many of you, I was baffled. Here at Google, we constantly think 10x and strive for that. And I think that James really epitomizes that value. And so he's inspired myself and millions of others to do just that. And he will hopefully inspire you here today at Google as well. So he's literally redefined what it means, the word impossible. And now I want to show you a brief video to intro him, and then we'll welcome him on stage. Thanks.
I felt empty. I hadn't found my physical and mental limits. It just came into my head, 50, 50, 50.
50 Ironmans, 50 states, in just 50 days.
Meet the Iron Cowboy. And he's very tired, but you are fighting through it. They say he once wore a cowboy hat in the crowd of athletes, and the name stuck.
It seemed pretty much impossible.
Comical, yeah, terrifying.
Oh, yeah. He said, will you coach me? And I said, I don't think you can do it.
This guy thinks he has a chance. It's crazy.
The first few days were really chaotic.
They had forgotten my shoes.
So everybody's wearing like these smaller shoes.
Hey, I'll wear that hat.
Last reps in, you're good.
Past 48 hours. I'm doing 2 Ironmans and 5 hours of sleep.
I'm like, how are you doing? He's like, God. So I don't really think he's good.
10. Let's go from 3. Yeah, 3.
You guys look bossy, fall off the road.
James says he can't feel his legs. He'd sit down, he was asleep. It was so crazy to watch.
1, 2, snoring. You do 1, 2, 3 snoring on a bike, you crash.
And all of a sudden, he's like, I can't do this.
I stopped chasing society's dream, and I went after my dreams.
This is what we as human beings can actually do.
Whatever trial you're having, it's hard.
There's a finish line to all of this. You've just got to get through today.
It's awesome.
Fight.
We'll see you. Come, we'll be there with your bike waiting for you like we always are.
Always. Don't let me waiting too long.
Oh man, guys, thank you so much. Had somebody told me 4 years ago that I would be at Google talking to y'all, I'd have said, no way on the planet. My name is James Lawrence. I'm known as the Iron Cowboy, and I'm super stoked to be here. This is really, really cool. So thank you to everyone that made it possible and happen. I'm originally from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And does anybody know what Calgary's famous for? Yes, the Calgary Stampede. So the Calgary Stampede is the largest rodeo stop in the world, and the city just shuts down and has a huge party. And I was sitting there, I was in my early 20s, and there was a radio show, and they made an announcement. They said, we want to find out who can ride the giant Ferris wheel for the entire length of the Stampede. And I grew up going to the Stampede, and if you're not familiar with it, it's 10 days long. And so I was sitting there and I was like, yes, this is the contest for me. This is perfect. And I called in, I got my spot on the ride, and for 10 days, I rode the Ferris wheel. And while I was on the Ferris wheel, I got fired for my job. And so like, it was this perfect storm for me of like, now I had some cash, I won some money, and some free time. And I literally hitchhiked a ride from my home in Calgary to Utah, Salt Lake City. I had one friend there. And once I arrived in Salt Lake, I was like, this place is awesome. And I met my wife, and we're just about to celebrate 19 years of marriage, and we've got 5 kids together. And so crazy, crazy cool, yeah. And since the 50, I've had an opportunity to travel around the world, speak in 48 different countries, doing 70 plus events a year. And it's amazing to realize that my story is not about triathlon. My story is about mindset and the space between our ears. And what I've realized is it doesn't matter if I'm in Oman or India or Africa or Israel, as humans, we're stuck. And we're stuck right here. And we're getting in our own way. And it's been such a pleasure to go around the world and share our story and watch people have that paradigm shift and get unstuck. And since when I finished the 50, everyone was like, hey, we want you to come do our race. Our race is the toughest. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm satisfied. I've done what I've done. And then I got a phone call from Africa. And Africa said, hey, we want you to come do and climb our mountain. And I said, well, I don't climb mountains. And they said, no. This is Mount Kilimanjaro. 20,000 feet in the air, you have to come climb it. And I said, well, I don't climb mountains. And they said, well, we don't want you to just climb it. We want you to bring your bike, and we want you to ride your bike to the top of the mountain. And I said, that sounds completely stupid and ridiculous. Like, why would I do that? And then I found myself on Mount Kilimanjaro, on my bike, trying to get to the top. And here's what, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but there's only one way to the top of Kilimanjaro. Straight up. Every pedal stroke was an all-out effort. Sometimes it took us 3 hours to go 30 feet. It's because we wanted to climb the whole thing. There was no direct route to the top of Kilimanjaro. We had to go up riverbeds and through the rainforest and try to navigate this mountain.